Hello, welcome back, everybody. It means so much to me that you guys would check out this video. So I love Pokemon Theory so much. It's one of my favorite things about the franchise. So many of them have been done so many times. They're great, but actually, I got something new for you guys today. I really hope you enjoy it. It's something I've come up with. To start with, fact: Kalos is the best region of Pokemon. So naturally, it has one of the most unique and coolest characters in the whole franchise. One man, two letters, AZ. So this guy, he just has such a rich backstory, such a deep backstory, so much lore to it, so much history to the character. Literally like 3,000 years worth of history. So before we get started, real quick warning: this theory, it's a little bit dark, it's a little bit sad, especially for Pokemon. But if you know the story of AZ, you know the ending. It does have a happy ending. Eventually, 3,000 years later. But anyways, let's get started. Alright, before we get too far into the video, just a quick overview of the basic facts that we already know about AZ. First, he is the King of Kalos. Kalos King. He's a Kalos King. The dude is super old, 3,000 years old. He's weirdly tall, and he launched Narayana. Well, actually, forget that. We'll get to that later. He launched the ultimate weapon. It doesn't have a name. It's just the ultimate weapon. Next, what we're going to do, we're just going to watch AZ's cutscenes from X and Y to get a better overview of the character. It's going to do way better seeing this than me just kind of describing the character to you. Alright, let's check it out real quick. So yes, AZ is a very mysterious man, but I figured out who he is, or at least who he's based off of. His real world counterpart. Well, sort of. Now let me explain. So, you know who this man is, right? Of course you don't. So his name is going to be butchered by me. He is Ashwatthama. We're going to go with that. That's close as I can get. Ashwatthama. So he's a man of Indian mythology. Alright, so first, with this Ashwatthama, the first physical characteristic that people often use to describe him is that he is extremely tall. In fact, he's 9 foot tall. That's not only very tall, but it's also very, very specific. 9 foot. So, another fun fact, Ashwatthama was a warrior king. He was involved with a war that dragged on far too long. He lost someone that he cared for deeply. He became enraged and committed a horrible and violent act. He single-handedly killed everyone in a battle, and he also built a super weapon called Narayana. That's the one I kind of mentioned earlier. And it basically will say it killed an entire army instantly. So already I'm sure that things are starting to sound a little bit familiar. Both men are said to be specifically 9 foot tall. They were both warriors and kings, and they both became in a terrible war. They both created ultimate weapons out of anger and unleashed them on the enemy, leaving no one left. Well, that's crazy already, but it goes even further. The similarities are undeniable. So, take a guess at what happens after Ashwatthama does, all of that I just said. So, in a nutshell, he is cursed by the gods. They recognized his bravery in battle. He had no fear of death. And he had taken so many lives. So it was decided that the perfect punishment would be to curse him with immortality. This way he would never die, but everyone he ever cared about would. So he would be eternally lonely and isolated from everyone he cared about the most, never being able to meet them ever again. Again, I know, I'm sorry, it's pretty dark, it's pretty sad. Alright, now back to AZ. AZ was devastated after losing his Floette. He was able to bring his Floette back, but after he unleashed the ultimate weapon out of rage, Floette knew that it could no longer stay with AZ. His actions were just too great. It left the one that loved it so much, and AZ was cursed to travel the earth alone, and apparently never able to die as well because he traveled the earth for 3,000 years. Oh yeah, and by the way, the whole Ashwatthama thing, that is said to have happened exactly 3,000 years ago as well. Again, it matches perfectly. So, obviously, Pokemon does things like this in a very subtle way. They wouldn't use an actual person's name when making a character based off of them. For example, if they were to make a character based off of Robin Hood, that character's name in the game probably isn't going to be Robin Hood. And on top of that, Ashwatthama is kind of a mouthful, so it would be difficult for kids to pronounce for sure. So I believe in that the A in AZ's name is a reflection of the first letter of the character he's based off of, as they both begin with the letter A. And then the letter Z, the other letter in AZ's name, is sort of symbolizes wrapping up the story of X and Y. It is the ending to X and Y. It's the Z, if you will. Alright, and finally there's one last piece of evidence that I feel wraps this entire theory up very nicely. So, one last fact about Ashwatthama is that in Indian mythology, folklore, and art, he is often represented by flowers. Flowers are sort of a symbol of this character, and to know more as to why and how, you can kind of research Ashwatthama if you'd like to. But just, to wrap it up in a nutshell, he is represented by flowers. So I believe that it is not a coincidence that AZ's partner, the one that his entire story revolves around, is a flower Pokemon. But not only is it a flower Pokemon, this Floette has its own unique design that is unlike any other Floette in existence. It is very unique. It is AZ's Floette. It is AZ represented in a Pokemon form. Alright, well that's it guys. That's all I have as far as the theory goes. I apologize, I'm still really new to YouTube, so the whole editing, video, sound, all that is brand new to me, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but if you did appreciate at least the idea of the theory, if you think it's possible, if it was entertaining at all, or if you think maybe it kind of sheds a little bit of light in the inspiration of really a very mysterious character. It would mean a lot if you guys subscribe, leave any comments, good, bad, suggestions of another video, how to make videos better, add on to this theory, anything like that. It'd be super, super cool. Anyways, well, I guess until next time, God bless all of you beautiful people. Thank you.